Right now, it's after midnight somewhere, and a bank you've walked past 1,000 times is standing dark and empty. The doors are locked, the teller windows are closed, the parking lot is vacant. From the outside, it looks like the building is asleep. It isn't. Behind those walls, in rooms the public never sees, machines are running, systems are processing, and more money is moving through that building right now than during the entire business day. A bank doesn't close when the customers leave. It just stops pretending that humans are the ones in charge. This is the story of what actually happens inside a bank, between the moment the last employee locks the door and the moment the first one opens it again. Let's start with the vault, because that's where everyone's imagination goes first. The vault door is closed, and behind it sits cash, sometimes millions of dollars depending on the branch. But the vault itself is just a room. What protects it is a system. The moment the branch closes, a time lock engages. This is a mechanical or electronic mechanism that physically prevents the vault door from being opened until a preset time the following morning, regardless of who wants in. Not the branch manager, not the regional director, not the CEO. If a robber holds a gun to someone's head at 2 in the morning and demands the vault be opened, the answer is genuinely, physically, no. The lock is not controlled by a person. It's controlled by a clock. This is by design. The time lock exists specifically so that no human can open the vault under duress, removing the incentive for after-hours robbery entirely. You can threaten anyone you want. The door doesn't care. While the vault sits locked, the real action is happening in the bank's computer systems. Every transaction that occurred during the business day, every deposit, withdrawal, transfer, loan payment, check, and card swipe has been sitting in a queue. During business hours, these transactions exist in a provisional state. Your balance might show that a check has been deposited, but the money hasn't actually moved yet. It's pending. The real movement happens at night, during a process the industry calls end-of-day batch processing. Starting around midnight, the bank's core processing system begins executing every transaction from the day in sequence. Deposits are posted, checks are cleared through the Federal Reserve or a clearinghouse, transfers between accounts are finalized, interest is calculated and applied, fees are charged, loan payments are processed and applied to principal and interest, account balances are reconciled and updated. This is not a small operation. A mid-sized regional bank might process hundreds of thousands of individual transactions in a single nightly batch. A major national bank processes tens of millions. Every single one must balance to the penny. If the numbers don't reconcile, automated exception reports are generated and flagged for human review the next morning. This is why your bank balance sometimes changes overnight. You checked it at 10 in the evening and saw one number. You checked it again at 7 in the morning and the number was different. Nobody touched your account. The batch ran. The pending transactions became real transactions. The provisional world of daytime banking was replaced by the actual world of settled finance. The money you thought you had yesterday is now the money you actually have today. The check clearing process alone is a masterpiece of invisible infrastructure. When you deposit a paper check, a digital image is transmitted overnight to a clearinghouse, routed to the bank it was drawn on, verified, and either honored or rejected. The money is then moved between the two banks through the Federal Reserve or a private network. Millions of checks, each one a small legal document with handwriting and signatures, processed, verified, and settled before sunrise, with no human involvement unless something goes wrong. But the computers aren't the only things awake. The security systems in a closed bank operate at a level of paranoia that would impress a military installation. Every door, window, vent, and access point is monitored by sensors. Motion detectors cover every room, every hallway, every closet. Cameras record continuously, not just video but metadata, timestamps, angles, and in modern systems, basic AI analysis that flags unusual movement patterns. Vibration sensors on the vault walls can detect drilling or cutting. Temperature sensors can detect the heat of a torch. Sound sensors can detect the specific acoustic signature of a safe being breached. All of this feeds into a central monitoring station, usually operated by a private security company hundreds of kilometers away, staffed around the clock by people watching screens that display dozens of bank branches simultaneously. If any sensor triggers, the response protocol is layered. The monitoring station verifies first. A bird on a window ledge? A cleaning crew that didn't badge in properly? If the alert can't be explained within seconds, local law enforcement is dispatched immediately. In some jurisdictions, bank alarms receive priority police response. The system is designed around a simple principle. The cost of responding to 1,000 false alarms is less than the cost of ignoring one real one. And then there's the ATM. While the branch sleeps, the ATM in the wall keeps working, and it's doing far more than dispensing cash. Every ATM transaction is processed in real time through a separate network that connects directly to the bank's authorization systems. When you withdraw $60 at 2 in the morning, the machine communicates with the bank's central database, verifies your account, checks your balance, confirms your daily withdrawal limit, dispenses the cash, debits your account, and logs every detail of the transaction, including a time-stamped photo of you from a camera you probably didn't notice. The entire process takes less than 10 seconds, and the machine tracks its own cash inventory in real time, counting what's left in each cassette and alerting the bank when it needs to be refilled. An ATM that runs out of cash on a Saturday night is a failure that generates immediate attention. There's another process that happens in the small hours that most customers never learn about: fraud detection. The bank's automated systems spend the night scanning every transaction from the previous day, looking for patterns that don't fit. A card used in 2 countries on the same day. A series of small purchases designed to stay under a reporting threshold. A sudden spike in activity on an account that has been dormant for months. These systems don't use simple rules anymore. They use machine learning models trained on billions of historical transactions, and they flag anomalies with a probability score. By morning, a fraud analyst's queue is full of cases to review, each one a potential crime, caught by a machine that never sleeps, never gets tired, and never stops watching. The cleaning crew arrives sometime between midnight and 4 in the morning. They have their own access codes and their own restricted areas. They can clean the lobby and the offices. They cannot enter the vault corridor, the server room, or the teller line. Their movements are tracked by the same cameras that watch for intruders, and in some banks, GPS-enabled badges log their position every 30 seconds. Trust is not a security strategy. Documentation is. Just before dawn, the overnight batch processing completes. Exception reports are compiled. System health checks run automatically, verifying that every server, every database, every network connection is functioning. The ATMs are reconciled. The vault time lock begins its countdown toward the opening window. Somewhere, a branch manager's alarm clock goes off, and she checks her phone for overnight alerts before her feet touch the floor. By the time she arrives, unlocks the door, and turns on the lobby lights, the bank has already done more work in the dark than it will do all day with customers in the building. The building you see when you walk up to a bank is a stage. The lobby, the tellers, the smiling advisors, that's the performance. The real bank, the one that actually moves your money, catches fraud, clears checks, and balances ledgers, operates in the dark, in silence, at a speed and scale that would overwhelm any human team. The next time you drive past your bank at 2 in the morning and see an empty building with the lights off, know this: the lights are off because nobody needs to see. The machines can work in the dark. But nighttime banking isn't even the strangest thing that happens inside a bank you never see. Every day, customers walk in with bills that are ripped in half, chewed by dogs, burned in fires, or pulled out of washing machines in shreds. They hand the pieces to a teller and ask for fresh money. Sometimes the teller says yes. Sometimes the answer is no. And what happens to those torn, mangled, barely recognizable bills after the bank collects them is a journey to a place most people don't know exists, where the government decides whether a piece of paper is still money or just paper. That story is next, and if you don't want to miss it, you know what to do.